Hey guys, NCSFan001 here, welcoming you to another one of those weekly trophy list update videos. Today's date is April 20th, 2020. 420, blaze it up, y'all. If you're in one of the states where it is legal, which is not South Carolina. Anyway, I'm recording this actually quite a bit later in the day than I wanted because I was kind of lazy today about recording it. But anyway, this will have covered the week of April 13th through 19th. So, there was a good bit of progress this week on 4 total games here, these first 4. But I also want to go back and mention briefly, where is it? Where you at? Red Dead. I didn't get the chance really to play Red Dead this week. I just didn't really feel like I had the motivation to play it this past week. I really need to get out of that mindset though and get this thing done because I'm just sick of it sitting there almost complete when what's left isn't overly difficult. Overall, like, the advanced co-op is like maybe a 5 out of 10. It's nothing that I haven't handled before. And I know that the 10 kill chain really isn't that hard either. On advanced, there's a very easy place to do it at the beginning of the herding mission. But it's just finding a group to do all that with, and then of course the poker ace, just not excited for that one. And probably the worst part of all of it though is, I don't know if I've addressed this as much, but I have really weird issues trying to connect to the servers for this game. Like, I know the servers have been awful for years, but what'll happen is, more often than not, when I get into a lobby, it'll just instantly kick me out, and it'll do it 4, 5, 6 times in a row, just randomly. And then it'll start letting me stay in a lobby, and then it just doesn't stick with some people. It seems like bigger lobbies, it doesn't really work that well. So I don't know exactly how that's going to work out just because of that stupid poker trophy requiring 6 players to be online for a longer period of time. Because you can do the co-op with 2 people. Now, I'm not going to try to do it with 2 people. I'm going to try to do it with 4 because it's easier that way, because you have more people to revive each other, because you get more points, I think, in advance. It seems like you get a lot more points in advance to where you would get the gold medals without really a whole lot of difficulty, because the gold medal requirements are the same between difficulties. They just change based on the number of players you have. But yeah, it's just a really weird issue I've had with the game that's given me a lot of trouble ever being able to connect to it, and that's making it harder for me to even think about going back and finishing this just because of that. And I don't want to spend, 3 hours playing poker only for it to screw up at the last minute or something. So, the 4 games I worked on this week. AER, this is the European PS4 version of it. This game has 3 different versions, the North American, European, and some kind of Asian version. It's either Asian, Korean, or Japanese, or Hong Kong, or just one of those other versions, but it's an Asian version. Now, technically, I nearly got the Platinum last week, but as I told you guys in last week's update, I wanted to wait on it and just do it in the next week and talk about it in the next week because of when I get the Platinum, because as I talked about before, I had to replace my little adapter thing that allows me to have a USB and an HDMI plugged into my computer. But anyway, with this game, the Platinum Trophy is quite easy and surprisingly enjoyable. I actually did like this game. It was more fun the first time when you were doing it for the first time. It's not quite as fun the second time, but it's not a bad time, really. It's quick and easy. It's relatively enjoyable of a game. You basically have the ability to fly around and you solve some puzzles and stuff and explore the world. So to get the Platinum, all of these trophies through here are story-related trophies. You'll get all of those simply by completing the game, which is basically you have to find 3 keys, like shorter puzzles, to get keys that unlock 3 different temples that are the much longer puzzles you have to solve. So that's pretty much the gist of the game, but if you're following a guide, you can do all this in like 2 hours. I mean, it took me probably a little bit longer than 2 hours or so, I don't know, but it's very quick. It's not that big a deal as long as you're following a guide. The spirit animals are basically a collectible type, as are discovering all areas of the map, but neither of these are really that hard, especially if you're following a guide, although a couple of the animals are a little bit out of your way. This you do on the settlement island, which is like sort of the main central island. You have to get up near like the baby llamas or whatever they are, or chickens, whatever they are, and guide them around a little bit, and that's pretty easy. This trophy is the hardest trophy in the game just because it's a little bit glitchy for some people, because you have to go in and talk to all the people at the settlement at specific points throughout the game. The guides will recommend talking to them after escaping the first cave, after getting your first key, after completing the puzzle that comes from the first key, so like the first temple. Then again after the second key, and a final time after the second temple, at which point the girl should disappear and either be hiding like behind a bush on the island or on the other side of the island. So that's basically what you have to do for that. You just have to be a little bit careful about that one because it's highly missable and you don't want to have to do a whole nother, hours worth of playing to get back to that point and go for it again. But it's still not difficult as long as you know about it and know that it's there. Then you just have to find a bunch of things that are hidden around the world. These are all just hidden on specific islands and stuff in the world. None of these are difficult at all as long as you follow a guide. And stepping into the well, this is actually done on the settlement as well, like right next to where they camp out at. So, like I said, quick and easy platinum trophy. Doesn't take a whole lot of time or effort if you follow a guide. Would definitely recommend picking this up if you can get it for cheap. Then we have Chaos on Deponia. You guys might remember I did the North American version of this game a long time ago. This is the European PS4 version. It's the only Deponia game that has multiple versions, and it has just those two versions. So now I'm 3/5 of the way through the Deponia franchise. I still have to do Goodbye Deponia and Deponia Doomsday. I want to say Goodbye Deponia is pretty much identical to the first two, whereas Deponia Doomsday has some stupidly long trophy in it that takes like 3 hours. Not looking forward to that. But anyway, as for the trophies, these two are unlocked by watching entire cutscenes where the guy is singing to you. That guy in this picture is like singing to you. So you have to listen to his whole musical number. And this is a point-and-click adventure game, by the way. I don't know if I specified that. This is earned pretty much right at the beginning of the game by blowing on something 5 times. Then you have to, this one you have to like kick the gondola like 10 times and walk off screen to fix it. Not too difficult though. This one you have to walk into a rake 10 times in like Act 2 or something earlier on in the game. The lollipop, I don't remember. I think this one might actually be story related. I don't know if you can miss it, but it's early on. This one, I don't remember what that one is. This one is a bit annoying. This one requires you to... It's during the section where you play Platypus Baracus or whatever it's called. It's where you play like the jousting game against Goal. And for this trophy, you have to do it... Technically, it was supposed to be done without training, but you are allowed to train a couple times just as long as you don't fully train yourself. That minigame was much easier this time around because I pretty much understood what I was doing and just train twice after the first couple rounds, and you're good to go. It's not too bad. And the good thing is, this time around, when I played the game, unlike the North American version, I didn't run into any glitches or other problems with the game. It didn't crash on me, didn't have anything glitch on me, so it made it a more enjoyable experience this time around. Then this one and this one both have to do with the platypuses, like getting their eggs and placing them in the correct spots during the main act of the game. This is another one of those sections where you have to listen to something. This one, I think you have to listen to certain music in a bunch of specific places. I think this is the one where you have to actually take like 4 different music tracks and have the gondola guy play them when the armorer goes to flirt with the woman. It doesn't make any sense unless you play the game. And then this one, I don't remember what this one was. This one, I think, is earned by making a really, really stupid rhyme when you're talking to Crane. Then this one is pretty easy. You just have to duck into, like, a container during one part of the game. That's pretty easy. Really, all of this is best done by following a guide, like the one on PlayStationTrophies.org. That one's very good. It's a perfect walkthrough of everything, so it shouldn't give you any problems. This one... I don't think it's story-related, but it's kind of tough to miss. This one may actually be story-related. This one, you have to get all the platypuses, and you have to, I guess, hatch all of them and place them in the right spots. I'm a little surprised that that's not more common, but I don't know. Then you have a poetry, another one of those trophies. I don't remember what that is. You have this one you get during, like, the beginning of Act 3, I believe. Don't remember how you got that one. That one, don't remember... Oh, wait, I think that this one you had to actually go and, like, you have this generator that you have to take and empty it out and put diesel fuel into or something. It's weird. It's like... But most of the trophies, again, are pretty easy as long as you follow a guide. That's really what this game boils down to. Follow a guide. You shouldn't have much trouble with the platinum as long as you can get through the jousting game just fine. And, well, there's 1 or 2 trophies down at the bottom that we'll also have to talk about. This one, I think, is unmissable. This is another one where you have to listen to the guy singing and whatever. Don't remember where this one is. I think it's just like a specific encounter that you get. This one you just have to talk to a specific character. This one you have to punch the final boss like 10 times in a specific way. This is another one at the end of the game, like where you just have to listen to the guy sing again, real near the end of the game. Although this one I think is actually unmissable because it's like right at the beginning of the final cutscene, so I don't think you can miss it. This one you have to go through some mirrors in a specific, well, not mirrors, but like teleporters at the end of the game in a specific order. This one, you have to harm all the animals in the game in one way or another. There's like 5 of them or something. I don't really remember where they are, but it's easy as long as you follow the guide. Then you have these two. Now, these are for the collectibles. There are 12 collectibles in the game. They are pin-up goal poster pictures. And for this, for Cheater, what you can do is, if you save the game, then pick up a piece of the puzzle, you pick it up, and then it actually counts, and then you can quit out of the game and reload your save and do that repeatedly to finish the puzzle quickly. For this one, you actually have to pick up all 12 puzzle pieces, and what happened to me on my original run of the game was that the game glitched out at one point, and despite the fact that I had not ever, reloaded a save or anything, it somehow counted one of my parts twice. I don't understand how, unless it just glitched out somehow, so I ended up having to replay basically the entire game to get this trophy. But this time around, it didn't give me any problems. What I did with this trophy was I did it first. Like, the very first thing I did in the game, I did this, and I deleted all my save data just to make sure I wouldn't run into any problems, and then checked after every piece I picked up, and then saved after each piece I picked up so I couldn't accidentally do it twice. This is for watching the credits. Thankfully, it's not 15 minutes, it's like 3 minutes. And for this one, you just have to fill up your inventory at some point, which is relatively easy as long as you're following the guide and taking it a bit slowly. So, not too difficult of a platinum as long as you follow a guide. Next up, Disney Classics, Aladdin and The Lion King. I think these games were released on like the NES or the SNES, and I know for a fact that The Lion King is considered to be brutally difficult, like in history of gaming. I can see why as well. But thankfully, to get this platinum, all you have to do is use some cheat codes and the watch game mode, and you are good to go. I would highly recommend there is a short walkthrough on PSN Profiles that you can follow that'll show you how to get the platinum in half an hour. Despite the cheats being available, this one actually has a really, really low platinum percentage, which is a bit surprising. I guess there's enough people that played the game just for fun, and it's really expensive too. It's like 30 bucks if you want to buy it, so I rented it off of Gamefly. So you have to beat Aladdin on easy, normal, and hard. You have to beat the Final Cut version, so basically 4 playthroughs of it, even though it's a short game. So this game would be brutal if you didn't have the cheats and the watch mode and all that kind of stuff. It would be brutal without it. As well as, of course, the easy, normal, and hard of the Lion King. Though these are the only trophies for Lion King, so Lion King is actually very easy because, well, I say that in terms of its number of trophies, as all you have to do is beat the game to get the 3 trophies, so you'd have to beat it 3 separate times, but the Lion King game is notoriously very difficult, and I don't think the Aladdin game is as notorious, but it's definitely not easy. So these are bosses that you have to kill in specific levels, but there are ways sort of to work around it, and there's an invincibility God mode cheat in both games, as well as a rewind feature in the Lion King game. Another boss, and actually I think you might just get these by just level skipping, because you can also level skip. You have to complete 2 bonus rounds, which you can do by turning yourself invincible, very easy. You have to beat the demo, which you could probably do this one legitimate, but because it's short enough, but you do have to do that, and you can use the watch feature and the cheats to make it easier. And then you just have to find a secret character somewhere to get this trophy. So it's a very quick and easy platinum trophy, as long as you use a guide and the cheats. If I'm pausing a lot, it's because I got a little phlegm in my throat from just eating dinner, because this always seems to happen after I eat dinner, all the weird buildup and stuff in my nose and everything, and I'm not even going to go into that any further. Anyway, the last game we need to talk about this week is Fallout 76. Oh boy! You know how I told you guys I was a little skeptical that this would get a DLC list? Well, it did. And the list was revealed like an hour after I released the video, because that's literally how life works for me whenever I talk about DLC trophies on a video, which is why I should probably stop talking about games that might have DLC in the future. With the exception of Outer Worlds, because I know it's going to have DLC, and Outer Worlds is actually good. So, yeah. Anyway, the Wastelanders DLC, not only did they release DLC trophies, but I have serious issues with this list. Because, mercifully enough, the base game didn't have any missable trophies, because you couldn't accidentally miss out on any of the story or side quests. I mean, you might have had to attempt some of the events like the Scorch Queen multiple times, but it's not actually missable because you can go attempt it at any time as long as you set it up properly. So that's fine, honestly. There's no like karma trophies or anything like that. There's no faction trophies in it, so there's nothing to worry about with that. The problem is, this DLC has a huge number of missable trophies, as far as I know. I can't 100% confirm everything, but I'm almost positive that a number of the trophies in this are missable due to what you have to do to get them. Now, this is sort of the new introductory quest to the game. It sends you on a treasure hunt. It's just a handful of relatively easy missions that you do for the Wayward right at the beginning. And you also have to find the Overseer right at the beginning. That's the sort of start of the other faction quest lines, so really, it's like 3 different factions you can work with. The Wayward, which is the little bar near the Overseer's camp, and then you have to go find the Overseer. Both those trophies are very easy. You're not going to have any trouble with either of these. But then you have all these other trophies. So as far as I know, these 2 are for finishing the quest lines, each for the Foundation and the Crater. I want to say the Crater is the Raiders and the Foundation is the Settlers. But as far as I know, you get one of these for completing each of those 2 faction quest lines. The problem is, because the developers are so smart and amazing at everything, you can't do both in a single playthrough, meaning you have to build a new character and get them to at least level 20 to even begin doing these quests, and then you have to complete the whole quest lines for both sides. I don't know exactly how long that's going to take, but come on, developers, why would you do that? I mean, why would you put in missable trophies? Like, this DLC was your chance to redeem yourself, and I have to say, it's not a bad DLC. It's definitely an improvement over the main game, but as Captain Price once said, it's not hard to improve on garbage. So, with that, it's just ridiculous that they put in actual missable trophies to where you basically have to do 2 whole playthroughs of this DLC, which means playing Fallout 76 for even longer, because you also have to become allies. Now, okay, so people have actually earned the trophies now, because last I checked this, no one had earned a trophy, had earned either of these trophies, I'm sorry. They must take an exceptionally long amount of time or something. I don't know exactly what you have to do, but I'm guessing that they just take a ridiculous amount of time. These 2 are the new companions. They at least seem to be easy, because I'm working on Sophia's right now, because it's literally just a series of fetch quests that seem like their only purpose is to drain your caps through fast travel. So just travel back and forth from one place to another, picking stuff up. Sometimes it's kill a robot that's following you because reasons. I don't know how Beckett's is, but I'm assuming it's not any harder. But another brilliant game design. You can't have both of them at your camp at once, meaning you can only work on one quest line at a time because reasons. And then finally you have the Gold Bullion, which is a new currency. It looks like the 300 is relatively easy to get, but the 1500 is definitely a massive grind. I think you can get it from completing challenges and as rewards from completing quests and stuff. So there's another nice big grindy trophy for you guys for the like 5 of you that probably enjoy grinding in Fallout 76. So yeah, not happy at all with this list. Like, you didn't have to make it have missable trophies. You easily could have said complete either buried treasure or all that glitters. I'm still fine with completing both of these stories because it's not really all that time consuming or really difficult. Become allies with either the Foundation or the Crater, and you would have cut out a huge amount of time because then you just have the Gold Bullion farming, which I'm sure that people are finding methods for by now. So definitely not happy about that DLC existing with trophies. It should have not had trophies. But thankfully, this will probably be the only DLC we ever get for Fallout 76 with trophies because it's their one major redeeming expansion that they were doing. So hopefully it means we won't get any more DLC trophies. So with that, level 73, 19%, 18,203 total trophies, 432 platinums, 2,450 golds, 4,790 silvers, 10,531 bronzes. So, plans for the upcoming week. I am going to continue working on Fallout 76 over time. The DLC doesn't seem like it's really hard in terms of like what you have to do. It's just exceptionally grindy and stupidly time-consuming. Really seems like the only bad part about it, so I'll continue working on that. Probably I'll work on at least one easy platinum during the week, just, because gotta get those numbers up and gotta get that backlog cleaned out a little bit. Maybe I'll get the chance to work on Red Dead this week. That's my hope, that I will get the chance to make a little bit of progress on Red Dead, because I really need to make some progress. I want to get that one done, because, like, you know, get that off the list. That would be pretty cool to have. I mean, I don't have the series done yet because I haven't done Revolver, but I will eventually. I still will have to do both versions of Ghosts, Advanced Warfare PS4, and Battlefield 3 on PS3, and my neighbors are being stompy and jumpy and obnoxious as always. Anyway, so those are the other few old games that I really, really need to work on, especially the Ghost versions, because that's the oldest one. Well, actually, it's the same age, I think, as Battlefield 3, but Battlefield 3, I think, will at least be a little bit more fun, and it's actually fully boostable because it's just multiplayer stuff. It's not, well, I mean, there's still skill-based stuff with the co-op mode, but that's not as critical because it only needs 2 people. So we'll see what happens with all that. I need to start looking at boosting groups again, because I want to get all 4 or all 5 of these games, all 5 of these older games done by the end of the summer, to the highest extent possible. That's the goal. Get all those done by the end of the summer, then we're pretty much good to go at that point in terms of old games, because then at that point, really the oldest game I'll have left will be, I guess, Black Ops 3, and I'm actually already done with all the multiplayer stuff for that. Just, it's only campaign and DLC left, so it's not that bad. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you this week for more streams and other videos and such. Stay safe out there, and good luck to you, and see you guys later this week.